think a maths resource needs to be easy to use,
quick to set up.
Something that's going to engage the children immediately, so kind of a kinesthetic, visual.
You can hold, you can move around.
Colourful and bright.
I like a good, solid problem.
Possibly open-ended with many solutions.
It needs to be something that can teach a lot in a small package and suits a wide range of learners.
Abacus is a maths teaching resource that consists of both planning as well as interactive teaching resources. One of the main reasons why I personally like it is because it focuses on the planning, it includes assessment as well, and it's a very simple guide that you can follow that can also be adapted, which I think is very important. It's available across the key stage, so you can get it all the way from year 1 up to year 6. What we've got here is the yearly overview. You can click on each of the weeks in order to get a weekly plan. You can click on each of the activities to find a summary for that activity. This one here means photocopyable masters, and that number relates to the number that's inside. The other way you can get it is through resources on the interactive teaching. So you can also get some copies of weekly plans that come in the teacher toolkit, and it has the exact same plan that we've had up here, just in a little bit more detail. And if you open it up, you can also get some detailed activities that you can teach to the whole class, including the teaching resources needed from the computer. But they're there just for a support. It also shows you some examples of page numbers, and those page numbers are from these textbooks, and there's 3 of them for each year group. They are also differentiated, and children seem to really enjoy them because they're really bright and colourful. You can also get interactive teaching resources for all of your lessons. They are again split up into your weeks. It has your mental aura starter and your teaching activities and your plenaries for each day. So you can go across and click what your activity is. And what they have as well is they have some teacher notes. You can have those on your interactive whiteboard as well. So in this example, it's place value cards. I think in order to use Abacus most effectively, you definitely need to have them to come in and support you at first. And I think with that, it's a very valuable resource, but you definitely need that support to start with.
What I'm impressed with about Abacus is how the emphasis is on speaking and listening with these activities. They're very open-ended tasks. There are many different ways to complete the task. And it's encouraging that higher level conversation, higher level thinking, so there's good links to literacy as well.
If you go into Block 8, it will tell you what you need to do throughout that week, but obviously you need to individualise your plans, and so as a starting point, which is what it says, I think it would be a really good idea, but not to be followed religiously.
I do like the Talk Maths section of Abacus because what it is about collaboration, and collaborative learning is really important in children now. However, I think teaching should come from plans written by yourself. So having an interactive plan, as I have here, where it structures and lays it out similar to the numeracy strategy, the old numeracy strategy, should I say, has its limitations to what you can do in class.
I think the support material is good. It's time consuming to read through it. My only criticism of it would be that perhaps it doesn't allow teachers to creatively plan. It's all there, set in stone, step by step.
I actually focused on the gifted and talented because I'm the coordinator for that, and I looked at the clip that they provided. It was for a Year 4 class, and what they were doing was they were teaching them how to add single-digit numbers. And if I think of the Year 4 children in our school, I just don't think that that would challenge them, and I don't consider that to be gifted and talented.
I would say having a scheme like Abacus can come quite expensive, because if you're one elementary school, you're paying £1,800 for 6 year groups. That becomes a lot in bigger schools, 3 elementary schools like ours, and we may be able to buy this quite comfortably with our budget. However, I think for 1 elementary schools it's quite difficult.
I definitely think it needs to have enough time to play around with it, to feel comfortable in using it within your own class, and to feel comfortable in adapting it as well. And once that's been covered, then I think it's a really valuable resource that the children really enjoy, and that's the most important thing.
It's a metre number line made by the children, which is handy because it gives them an exact idea of what a metre looks like. It also helps with the positioning of numbers, and it gives them ownership over their own learning as well, because they're using something that they've made.
This is my DIY resource that I made for maths for when we do number bonds. There's 10 pegs on the hanger, and when we say 9 add 1, we move that one away. So 9 add 1 equals 10, and then they can get the partner addition. They can turn this around, and 1 add 9.
This is a free online resource called senteacher.org, and although it's related to SEN, the resources that have been that are there to use can be used mainstream. You've got mathematics, English, and general. I always click on printables because any resources that save you time, fantastic. Now, the one thing that I just absolutely loved was the reading of the clocks. This is for printing out as a worksheet. But down on the right-hand side is the most fantastic idea, is you can click whether you want your worksheet to have just on the hours, half hours, quarter past. So it gives you a full range. So you could just click on, say, quarter past, and you can click quarter past again, and you have lots of different ones. And it's so individual, and it's really easy to use. Below the clocks, you have more mathematics. For example, missing links. You can start it at whatever number you want to, and it gives you the option what steps you want it to go in. Now, there are places you can get 3D nets from, but if you click on here, there was every 3D net that I needed in one place. And all you need to do, click print sheet, and it prints it. Fantastic.
I think SEN Teacher is a really good resource because it's easy to use as a teacher. It also allows you to adapt different worksheets for your class, and I think it's one that can be used as mainstream. For example, here you can have body parts, or you can have paired parts, so arms or legs, and you can change it for your own class.
What I like about it is the fact that it's there, free, printable, for you to use, you know, whenever you like. I've actually used it when I had a topic for money, to teach the children the value of coins. So when I looked on the SEN resources, you could just download them, you could laminate them, and you've got a set of coins, you know, enough for everybody.
This would be the one I would use, not just for my SEN children, but for my whole class, because they're fantastic, they're really bright, the number is very clear, and here you can print out the number cards, which have actually got the dinosaurs, walking sticks, the words written to the pictures they actually match with. So you can have a numeracy snap game or matching the numeral to the image. It's fantastic.
They're really interactive activities, and that's very important if you're going to implement them in the classroom. And a lot of them you can actually generate your own numbers for. So for example, number cards, you can actually pick the numbers you would like. So it's really, really useful.
Well, one of my favourite homemade resources is the very ancient and venerable Napier's bones. They're incredibly simple to use. All you need to be able to do is add up to 20. Let's take an example of a sum here. I'm looking along this row. I have 5 in the units column. Adding together the 2 digits in this rhombus, we have 7 in the tens column. Adding together the digits in this rhombus here, we have 1 in the hundreds column, and here 1 in the thousands. And I didn't have to add up anything higher than 2 and a 5. Marvellous.
The Can-Do problem solving, the resources CD-ROM, is really useful. It's something that I use an awful lot in class with the children. The Can-Do objectives are from the National Numeracy Strategy, but it is really easily transferable. And the reason I really like it is because I find it very difficult to think of all the different problems that I wanted to give the children, whereas when you use Can-Do, it's laid on for you, it's right there. There's a range of different problems that are all appropriate for the age group. Children are always really excited to use them because there's things like the theme park, at the pictures, box of chocolates, so things that the children can really relate to. And because Can Do goes from year 1 up to year 6, that is even better, because if there's more able children and these are not challenging enough, you can look up to the next year group for ideas. It's really easy to use. The problem is on here for you. There are differentiated worksheets that are just ready to print, and they link to the problem, really good pictures on there. The children can cut and stick things in there. And actually on this one in particular, there is also a sheet with a little extension on the problem ready for you to print. Also on here, there is an additional problems bank, which is just challenges that you can give the children. Most of them are quite self-explanatory, so I find it really useful and I would definitely recommend it to anybody.
I really like this piece of software. It's a standalone piece of software. It's not hugely extensive, but the resources are good. There's lots of real-life problems on there, and what I like about it is that the children can access different worksheets to help them solve the problem. So they're physically cutting out the lollies and sticking them, so to speak.
It looks easy to navigate. The thing that would put me off it would be that it's got a lot of, you have to print out the worksheets, and that's a lot of worksheets to print out. Perhaps if there was a more interactive version, that would be more suitable.
It's a very topical area of maths at the moment, because children need to understand that there are many different ways to solve a problem, and they also need to understand that they're not necessarily going to succeed on the first time as well. So creating an environment where children feel safe to fail is very important.
I think they're good because they give you a good selection of worksheets. There's worksheets that are differentiated for each group, so it saves time with planning. However, I think they're a little bit dull and they could be more exciting.
What I do like about this is that it has one problem, the main problem, then it has an extension problem to go with it. So if the children have solved the first problem, they've got an open-ended question to work on next. That's an extension. However, I wouldn't expect my teachers to be using this as a primary resource to teach their maths with.
What I like about the resource is the steps to problem solving. It gives the children strategies. What else I like is it's got the worded problem solving to help the child learn how to comprehend and understand what to do with the numbers. But then attached to that, in addition, there are images. So a child that is a visual learner has something that they can look to and refer to link to the story and help them to calculate the answer. Yeah, it's quite useful.